Consistency turns effort into results. Consistency is the silent force behind every great achievement. It's not the grand gestures or rare moments of extraordinary effort that define success. It's the small, deliberate actions you repeat over time. Anyone can have a burst of energy or inspiration for a day or two, but true progress is made when you keep showing up, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Consistency is the habit of commitment, the discipline of repetition, and the willingness to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps may seem. Think about it like planting a seed. You can't plant it today, ignore it for weeks, and expect it to bloom. You must water it regularly, give it sunlight daily, and nurture it over time. The same goes for your dreams, your health, your skills, or any goal you want to achieve. The results don't come overnight. They come from the steady, unwavering care and attention you give day after day. Consistency also builds trust in yourself, and trust from others. When you consistently follow through with your commitments, you begin to believe in your own ability to achieve what you set out to do. You're no longer depending solely on bursts of motivation because you've developed a reliable pattern of action. That pattern becomes your safety net. It keeps you going when inspiration runs dry. The beauty of consistency is that it compounds. Just as small drops of water can wear away a rock over time, small daily actions can transform your life. You might not notice change right away, and that's where many people give up. They expect instant results and get frustrated when they don't see them. But if you can embrace the process, trusting that every effort you make is building towards something greater, you'll find that the transformation often sneaks up on you. One day, you'll look back and realize how far you've come simply because you kept going. Consistency also helps you master your craft. Whether you're an athlete, an artist, an entrepreneur, or a student, the more you practice, the better you get. It's not about talent alone. It's about refining your skills through repetition and persistence. Every time you show up, you're not just working toward your goal, you're also training yourself to handle challenges more effectively, think more creatively, and perform at a higher level. It's important to understand that consistency doesn't mean perfection. There will be days when you don't perform at your best, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep the momentum going, even if it's at a slower pace. Skipping one day might not make a difference, but if you let that slip turn into a habit, you break the chain. That's why staying committed, even in small ways, is so crucial. Doing something is always better than doing nothing. Another powerful aspect of consistency is how it reshapes your identity. When you consistently act in alignment with your goals, you start to see yourself as the kind of person who achieves them. If you consistently exercise, you begin to see yourself as a healthy person. If you consistently write, you begin to see yourself as a writer. This shift in self-image makes it easier to keep going. Because your actions are now an expression of who you are, not just something you're trying to do. Consistency also sets you apart. Many people start with excitement but fade when things get hard. If you can stay steady when others quit, you give yourself an incredible advantage. In a world where most people are looking for quick fixes and instant gratification, being consistent is almost like a superpower. It's rare, and it's what leads to extraordinary results. It may feel slow, and at times it will feel like you're not making progress at all. But remember, every small effort is a brick in the foundation of your success. Without consistency, even the best plans and the greatest talents can crumble. With it, even ordinary efforts can build something extraordinary. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Now, discipline is the unshakable commitment to doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It's the invisible thread that connects your vision to your reality, the force that keeps you moving forward when motivation fades, and the structure that turns dreams into tangible results. Anyone can set goals, but without discipline, those goals remain nothing more than wishes written on paper. No, at its core, discipline is about control. Not control over the world or other people, but control over yourself. It's the ability to resist distractions, delay gratification, and stay focused on the bigger picture even when the present moment tempts you with comfort or ease. It's choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. This kind of self-control is rarely easy, but it's always worth it. You know, one of the greatest truths about discipline is that it is forged in moments of resistance. When you're tired but still choose to put in the work, you strengthen your willpower. When you feel the pull of procrastination but decide to start anyway, you build resilience. Every time you honor your commitments, you're reinforcing a mental muscle that gets stronger with use. That's why discipline, like a muscle, grows with practice. The more you exercise it, the more natural it becomes to act in alignment with your goals. Discipline is also a safeguard against the unpredictability of motivation. Motivation is a great starting point. It sparks excitement and can get you moving, but it is fleeting. It rises and falls based on your mood, your circumstances, and your environment. Discipline, on the other hand, is steady. It doesn't care if you're in the mood to work. It demands that you work anyway. It's what gets you out of bed early to train, what makes you put in those extra hours of study, what pushes you to prepare even when no one is watching. Another powerful aspect of discipline is that it simplifies decision-making. When you have trained yourself to act according to your principles and goals, you eliminate the constant mental debate about whether you should or shouldn't do something. The choice has already been made by your commitment. Instead of wasting energy deciding, you simply act. This not only saves mental energy, but also removes unnecessary hesitation that could slow your progress. Discipline also builds credibility with yourself and with others. When you consistently do what you say you will do, you begin to trust your own word. You stop making empty promises to yourself and start proving that you can rely on your own commitment. That self-trust is priceless because it fuels confidence and makes you more likely to take on bigger challenges. Others, too, will start to see you as dependable, someone whose actions match their words, a quality that opens doors in both personal and professional life. It's important to understand that discipline is not about being harsh with yourself. It's about respecting yourself enough to follow through on what you know is best for you. It's an act of self-love, not self-punishment. By practicing discipline, you're choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort. You're showing yourself that your goals and dreams are worth the effort, the time, and sometimes the sacrifice. The road to discipline is rarely smooth. There will be days when you stumble, moments when your resolve weakens, and times when the temptation to give in feels overwhelming. That's normal. What matters is that you get back up and keep going. Discipline isn't about never failing. It's about refusing to let failure have the final say. Every time you pick yourself up, you're reinforcing the habit of persistence, which is one of the strongest forms of discipline. Ultimately, discipline transforms you. It reshapes not just your habits, but your character. It teaches you patience, endurance, and the ability to see beyond the immediate moment. It molds you into the kind of person who does just talk about their dreams, but actively works toward them day after day until they become reality. Mindset shapes your reality. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world, the invisible filter that colors every experience, every challenge, and every opportunity. It's the quiet voice in your head that tells you whether you can or cannot, whether you should try again or give up, whether you see obstacles as walls or stepping stones. The truth is, the way you think determines the way you live. Change your mindset, and you change your entire reality. There are people with incredible potential who never achieve their dreams, not because they lack skill or opportunity, but because their mindset keeps them trapped in doubt, fear, and limitation. And on the other hand, there are people with fewer resources, less experience, and more obstacles who go on to achieve extraordinary things. The difference is not luck, it's mindset. A strong, positive, and growth-oriented mindset empowers you to take action, keep learning, and push through setbacks, no matter how difficult they seem. The power of mindset lies in how it shapes your interpretation of life. When something goes wrong, a fixed mindset sees it as a sign to stop, proof that you're not capable. A growth mindset sees it as a lesson, an opportunity to adapt, improve, and try again. The challenge is the same, but the reaction is completely different, and that difference determines your future. Mindset also has the power to influence your habits. If you believe deep down that you're capable of becoming healthier, more successful, or more skilled, you'll take the actions necessary to make it happen. Your belief fuels your behavior. But if you tell yourself it's impossible or that you're not good enough, you'll stop trying before you've even started. Your actions always follow your thoughts, which means that your mind is the foundation of everything you build in your life. The beauty of mindset is that it's not fixed. You can train it. Just like a muscle, your mind becomes stronger and more resilient the more you work on it. You can learn to shift your perspective, to see challenges as opportunities, to replace negative self-talk with empowering affirmations. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on solutions instead of problems, possibilities instead of mindset. Also affects the energy you project to the world. People are drawn to those who radiate confidence, optimism, and determination. If you walk into a room believing you have value to offer, people will sense it. If you approach your work believing you can succeed, others will believe in you too. Your mindset doesn't just influence your own behavior, it influences how others respond to you, which can open doors and create opportunities you never imagined. It's important to understand that having the right mindset doesn't mean you'll never face fear or doubt. Those feelings are part of being human. But with the right mindset, you learn how to move forward in spite of them. You stop letting fear dictate your choice. You start viewing doubt as a sign that you're stepping into something bigger than yourself, which is often where growth happens. Your mindset is also what sustains you during difficult seasons. When things aren't going your way, when progress feels slow, when the temptation to quit is strong, a resilient mindset keeps you steady. It reminds you why you started, helps you focus on what you can control, and keeps you from drowning in what you can't. That mental strength becomes your anchor in the storm, allowing you to hold your ground until the winds change. The mind is incredibly powerful. It can be your greatest weapon or your greatest weakness. If you let it dwell on limitations, it will create barriers that don't even exist. But if you train it to focus on possibilities, it will find solutions where others see dead ends. Every great achievement starts, and every lasting success is sustained by a mindset strong enough to weather the journey. Success requires all three working together. Consistency, discipline, and mindset are each powerful on their own, but their true strength is revealed when they work together. Think of them as three pillars holding up the structure of your success. Remove one and the entire foundation. Many people focus on just one or two of these elements, but real, lasting achievement demands the balance and synergy of all three. Consistency is what keeps you moving forward day after day, turning small actions into big results over time. Discipline is what ensures you keep going even when you don't feel like it, giving you the strength to resist distractions and stay on course. Mindset is what shapes the way you approach your journey, influencing how you interpret setbacks, opportunities, and your own potential. These three forces, you create a system that not only pushes you toward your goals, but also makes it nearly impossible to drift off track for long. Without consistency, even the most disciplined person will struggle to create momentum. You might have bursts of effort, But without regular, steady progress, your results will always be temporary. Without discipline, you might start strong, but quickly give in to the temptation to quit when things get hard. Without the right mindset, you might show up and work hard, but self-doubt or negative thinking will limit what you're willing to attempt. Each of these qualities fills in the gaps left by the others, creating a complete and unshakable approach to success. When you're consistent, you develop habits. When you're disciplined, you maintain those habits regardless of how you feel. When your mindset is strong, you believe those habits are worth the effort. The three reinforce each other in a cycle of growth. Your consistency builds your discipline because you prove to yourself that you can stick to something. Your discipline strengthens your mindset because you see the results of pushing through challenges. Your mindset fuels both consistency and discipline by keeping your vision clear and your purpose strong. This combination is also what allows you to endure the long journey toward big goals. Success rarely happens quickly. It's a process that demands patience and persistence. Consistency gives you the patience, discipline gives you the persistence, and mindset gives you the perspective to keep going even when progress is slow. Without all three, it's easy to lose hope or get distracted by things that don't truly matter. There's also a powerful sense of alignment that happens when all three are working together. Your actions, your habits, and your thoughts are all moving in the same direction. You're no longer fighting yourself, wasting energy on internal battles between what you want and what you actually do. Instead, your daily choices naturally support your long-term vision, and your mental state reinforces your physical actions. Alignment is rare, but it's what separates those who merely talk about their goals from those who achieve them. The beauty of combining consistency, discipline, and mindset is that you don't need to rely on willpower alone. Willpower can run out, but a well-built system doesn't. If you've trained yourself to act consistently, built the discipline to follow through, and developed the mindset to see challenges as opportunities, you'll keep going even when your energy or motivation is low. You'll have created a framework for success that carries you forward automatically. It's also important to realize that these three traits don't just help you achieve a specific goal. They change who you are as a person. They shape your character, build your confidence, and give you a sense of control over your life. When you've mastered consistency, discipline, and mindset, you can apply them to any area, your career, your health, your relationships, and see results. They become part of your identity, not just tools you use for a short-term project. By bringing them together, you're not just chasing success, you're building the kind of life that naturally produces it. You're becoming the type of person who doesn't just hope for results, but creates them one decision, one action, and one thought at a time. Success is never the result of a single action or a moment of luck. It's the product of steady effort, unshakable discipline, and an empowered mindset working in harmony. Consistency keeps you moving forward. Discipline ensures you stay the course when challenges arise, and mindset shapes the way you see and respond to every situation. Together, they form an unstoppable combination that turns goals into accomplishments and dreams into reality. When you commit to practicing all three every single day, you stop relying on chance and start taking control of your destiny. This is not just about achieving one goal, it's about becoming the person who can achieve any goal.